A PvZ series. We're starting up on Deadwing to start this series off. This was played out actually yesterday, so it hasn't been that long. It's pretty fresh, and I haven't seen any of it. Hopefully, none of these players actually shared the replays. I told them not to, other than giving it to me, and so no one should know the results of this, as far as I know. So it's going to be a surprise to everybody. So that's cool, but not live. Has already happened, but still should be interesting games between these two players here. Roxas and he's a pretty darn good Zerg player here in CTL. I think he's like the top in the ELO rankings that I've done for the league for this season at least. So he's a pretty powerful diamond player. But we are into game number one here, starting on Deadwing, starting in the bottom left from House of Renegades. This is their captain actually. It's doohickey.
Alright, and spawning to the top right side, we have the pink Zerg player, and he goes by the name of Roxas.
And I completely forgot to mention the teams to you, but his team is Team Unrivaled. That is what the UR is for. They're a pretty good team in the CTL as well. They won 4 seasons of the CTL so far, of the 8 that have already been played out, and they're currently 6-0 this season. So they're pretty strong. So it's no surprise seeing good players come from this team in the individual league. I think Roxas is their lone representative here in the quarterfinals. And for House of Renegades, doohickey, our Protoss player, is actually the only Protoss player. He was the only Protoss player left in the round of 16 even. So he's the lone stalwart for the Protoss players. So hopefully he can show some good games and maybe keep it going for Protoss brethren. They are kind of endangered in the CTL. It's kind of strange. I'm not sure why exactly, because they've been so good for so long, but no one wants to play Protoss in the individual league. It's weird.
I'm not sure if that's a pattern, but feel like platinum to diamond players are actually there are actually a lot of Zerg players, and I don't know what it is, but at that certain skill level, Zerg can actually be pretty strong.
I guess the joke is that all the Protoss players are already in Masters because it's just so easy to get them for Protoss, so they aren't able to play for the CTL. But yeah, you do see a lot more Zergs and Terrans kind of in the lower leagues, I suppose. I'm not sure why that is, but actually I can go check and see how many we've had this season at least of each race playing. I know it's always been kind of lopsided, and yeah, we have 114 Zerg, 95 Terran, and 76 Protoss who have played so far in the CTL season this season. So it's quite a difference there between Zerg and Protoss. I mean, an extra 40 players in a league like this, it's surprising, but you know, especially considering how many cheeses they can do in a best of 1 situation. If you're playing like these pro league best of 9 weeks, you get a best of 1 with a Protoss player. Look at all the fun things they can do. So, but nonetheless, we are here in our game. I mean, both players are pretty well setting up a standard game, and actually doohickey going for the Cybercore before he even throws down his Nexus. So, playing extremely safe, not trying to play super greedy or anything. And there is a single build that doohickey has that we have seen many a time. And if he stays on 1 gas, it's going to be that build. He's going to make a Warp Prism, 2 Immortals, +1 attack, and a ton of Zealots. He's going to walk across the map and try and kill his opponent. It's one of his best builds, so I would not be surprised to see that here in game number 1.
Yeah, and upon seeing where his opponent spawned, it is cross position, so an all-in attempt is kind of hard to build up. But with Warp Prism, as you said, this is definitely a choice to go for that kind of timing.
Few links coming across the map here for Roxas. Is going to scout out. The Mojo Core is already here, so one of the links maybe will get some work done. I think there's a Zell on top of the ramp. There is, so they're not going to be able to get in and really scout. It's going to pick away at this Nexus and take out some shields for a couple seconds, I suppose. Two of them do escape, so Roxas will have those on the map for a little bit longer period of time, and he's actually taking his own 3rd hatchery very quickly here before he's actually finished any of his gases. So he's looking to get up as many drones as he possibly can, as fast as he possibly can, to defend whatever happens to come his way from doohickey. And we actually do see a 2nd gas out of our Protoss player, so slightly different from his normal play style. But I think so many people know how he plays with that +1 Zealot Immortal all-in that he does, that they've figured out how to stop it. So it's up to doohickey to figure out a different way to play here in this series.
Yeah, pretty solid play so far. Both are macroing up and taking the gases a little bit early here from Roxas, that is. So he might be going into early layer as I'm saying this. He does go for it, and we might actually see a Roach follow up. This is at least what I feel like it is going to be, but no additional gases being added so far.
Yeah, it's just like again, he just wants to get up as much as he possibly can tech-wise as fast as he can. In doing so, I mean, he's already up to 44 workers. He's got 9 more that are going to be popping. I mean, 53 workers to what's going to be 36 here in a second. It's a pretty nice lead to start off with for Roxas, but especially with as little as doohickey actually has out on the map. He's only got 3 gates. He's going to try and pressure with those 3 gateways, I suppose. He's actually throwing in a robo facility behind this, but with only 4 zealots here and a couple of sentries, I think even drones alone could take that out, and besides that, there's enough queens on the map for Roxas. His Roach Warren on the way as well. His speed has just started recently, so he's not going to be able to defend very well with Lings or anything, but I'm not sure how much damage this will get done for doohickey. He doesn't actually have any pylons on the map either, so this may just be a threat of something. It's not actually going to be anything.
Yeah, it's just light harassing from doohickey, and he might force his opponent to get actually out a couple of units, but Mothership Core actually being attacked, and therefore he is forced to retreat for the moment, and is actually going for a couple of more queens here, interesting enough, and also the roaches that are on the way at the moment.
Yeah, having this many queens is really nice for that Warp Prism centric style that doohickey has played so often, so it's no surprise seeing Roxas do that. And just in general, I mean, we were talking about this in the ZVZ earlier, queens are such a good unit early on, and Roxas actually very good job by doohickey not to throw down that Robo Bay right in front of the Overlord's vision, but he does throw it up in the top of his base here, so looking like he's probably going to take his 3rd base here momentarily, I would assume. But for the time being, I'm not sure. Maybe some sort of Colossus timing if he's not going to take his 3rd base. I'm not sure why he's not going for a 3rd yet.
Well, we definitely see a lot of roaches that are now on the way here for Roxas, so he might actually go for another Immortal. But he is supply blocked for a second here, and this is really not really stacking up really good for doohickey at the moment.
A lot of army units already out for Roxas. I mean, he can afford to do so, getting so many drones so quickly. Already up to 62. He's going to have full 3-base saturation here in just a second once this extractor finishes up. He's even getting burrow and tunneling claws, so that's going to be his way of defending against any sort of immortal sentry all-in. At least using that burrow and using the roach move as well to get around those force fields. And really, there aren't that many sentries on the map here for doohickey. He's only got 3 or maybe that's 5 actually. Now that I actually click on them and count. It's just a lot of zealots in this single immortal, and even the changeling does get sniped by the immortal there by doohickey. Just as I was saying, it's going to get in and see the Robo Bay finishing up. Because right now, Roxas, this looks like it's just kind of the standard all-in that he should be accustomed to facing, but 2 Colossus on the way right now. We didn't not even notice that there's another Robo facility, so that's a lot of firepower that's going to be coming here for doohickey. It's just, is he just go for 2 Colossus and go with that, or is he going to wait for 4?
Yeah, really interesting build here we see from doohickey, and I mean the Colossi do need some time to cross over the map, and they will be scattered right now by the Overseer. So, but I feel like Roxas just go for massive amount of roaches and zerglings, and he should be just fine.
It's looking like doohickey wants to get aggressive with just the few units he has right now. Force fields are actually pretty poor. He's going to lose all of this army unless he recalls home, but he doesn't have any energy on the Mothership Core. Well, okay, there it is. It was on full energy, so I didn't see the energy bar. That's why. But he lost a lot there. He lost 1 of his immortals. He lost 3 sentries, which is absolutely huge. And now Roxas is just going to move across the map, and he doesn't really necessarily need to attack doohickey so much. He just needs to deny the 3rd base. I mean, Roxas is almost maxed right now, 170, 180 supply to 105. Yeah, there's 2 Colossus, but I don't think it's going to be enough right now.
Yeah, the Colossi need to defend this. 4 Colossi at least. This is actually a lot of firepower. So he can't reflect this for the moment, but still, Roxas has really good macro and unit lead so far. So he just needs to play it safe, taking the 4th base as we're seeing right now, and also the infestation bit. I wonder if this is going to be Infestus or even some swarm hosts.
Oh, the burrow. It is seen. There is, what is there, an observer or something? I don't even, oh, no, it's not an observer. That was Roxas' vision. I'm insane. The burrow is not actually seen. I think he realizes it because he could see all of the holes in the ground from the lings that just unburrowed, but he doesn't see where the roaches are right now. The roaches are trying to swing around from the back and deal with that. And without an observer right now here okay, there's an observer now for doohickey, so he will be able to see this. Actually, he picked up one Colossus inside of the War Prism. He doesn't see it right now. The roaches do pop up. One Colossus goes down immediately. A second Colossus is focused down. The third one goes down, so all the Colossus are dead. There's an Immortal and a single Colossus left over. Great play by Roxas there, surrounding his opponent. And one Colossus left over, trying to get as much damage done as it possibly can, but it's on no health, and it does get sniped off there. doohickey has nothing left right now. He's 100 supply down even, and no third base. He's just going to be trying to win with gateway units, or try to defend with gateway units, and not many at that. So really smart play from Roxas, realizing what he was facing.
I was so surprised doohickey didn't see the roaches, because he had an observer, but the observer wasn't following his army. This was a huge deal, and therefore Roxas just with that really good attempt here with the Burrow movement, and then killing off the Colossi, killing off the whole army.
And another Burrow comes down, just regenerate a little bit of health, get a little bit closer to these Stalkers. The Stalkers don't even have Blink, so they can't actually defend very well. I mean, the overcharge goes down, but there's nothing really here to prevent those roaches from burrowing again. Where's the observer at? It's finally coming home, but those roaches can just burrow and go past this base. Getting on top of an Immortal, trying to get through that. I didn't realize the Time Warp actually slows units that are burrowed too, so that's interesting. But 2 Immortals left over, they're going to go down pretty quickly. And behind this, I mean, 4th base was there, and GG from doohickey. So Roxas will take game number 1 here in this series. Roxas, very smart there.
Yeah, well done. And yeah, let's see if if there is a comeback coming up here in the second game.
It's going to be on Overgrowth to start off for our second game, so perhaps a friendlier map for the Protoss player, just to be able to get some pylons out that are a little bit closer, not as hard. I don't know what that first attack was from doohickey. Actually, either of the attacks. The Zealot plus sentries that he walked across the map with that didn't do anything, and then the second attack that he did without the 2 Colossus. If he's got 2 Colossus there, if he force fields moderately well instead of not well at all, he may actually have been able to do something. But as it stands, Roxas with a quick 1-0 lead in this series. And going into map 2 here, spawning in the top right, doohickey from House of Renegades.
And spawning to the bottom left side from Team Unreliable? No. Unreliable. What is it?
Unrivaled.
Unrivaled. Yeah, exactly. It is going to be Roxas.
Well, it's actually kind of, it's funny you say that, because the guy who is supposed to be casting with me is their captain, actually. So Unreliable works out, kind of. Sorry, Padul. He's still actually watching. So
yeah, sorry, Roxas. Sorry.
No, well, Roxas is Roxas isn't watching, I don't think. Well, he might be. But no, that was a funny Freudian slip. Worked out pretty well.
Okay. Right. So let's get that transition somehow. Yeah, Overgrowth is again a map where we might. Yeah, there is actually some interesting build with a Nexus first on the gold base and then going for a 2-base timing, but I'm not sure if doohickey is opting to get for this very build.
Yeah, in the same way, a Zerg player going for that gold hatchery on the other side of the base and pushing with spine crawlers, it can be a lot of fun. It can be something that's very surprising. We do see the pool first out of Roxas, actually, and was that any bit of early? No, not really early. I think it was probably a 14 pool he actually threw down there, and it looks like he's going to be taking his natural base as soon as he possibly can. This probe is over here for doohickey, so he is going to try and deny this for a little bit of time at least. Just dance around, be as annoying as he possibly can with his probe. He does deny one placement, And a second drone has to be pulled here from Roxas, so he can shoot this away. And he does get that hatchery down, so doohickey will have to just relegate that probe to actually scouting. Now it has failed its initial job.
Yeah, so it is not. It is a pool first build, so not the big deal here for Roxas. And yeah, with the queen and the gas being taken, Roxas might be even able to get that speedling upgrade really, really fast.
doohickey went for a really quick gas himself, actually. It's kind of surprising to see that out that quickly, I suppose, even before his expansion comes up. So I'm intrigued to see what that purpose is going to be. If it is, it might, maybe I've missed it in all the builds where he does do that +1 immortal zealot thing. That this gas comes down as early as it does. It does kind of make sense. You need a little bit of gas pretty quickly so you can actually get warp gate started, get a forge started, and the robo started as soon as you need it up. So if that's a thing or not, we'll have to see. I mean, he does have a pretty standard setup so far. Once again, the zealot up top here at the ramp, just blocking off any lings that are going to be walking across. There are a couple of lings moving across right now. Once again, 4 lings from Roxas to try and at least annoy the front. And without the mothership core is going to be popping out here in just a moment. He should be able to at least kill the probe. Maybe the probe could just walk away, but it's going to just dance around and die. Maybe.
Oh,
maybe. No.
mineral trick!
Gets away.
Oh, wow.
That probe
That's just
dancing
showing
with fire.
off.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, look how low I can get and get away.
Deal with it. So yeah, he does reflect the circlings from doing any more damage, and well, Roxas is actually working out quite well so far, and he is actually getting additional gas as well. So let's see what his tech choice is going to be. It is going to be the Roach Horn.
Very quick Roach one here from Roxas, and then depending on how many drones are actually going to be made down here at the natural base. Okay, he's adding on 5 more right now. Well, this could be a rather powerful all-in with just speedlings and roaches coming up pretty soon, especially actually if he pulls out a gas here. I'll be intrigued to see if he does do that. He's not making any more drones just yet, but he is, well, he's not supply blocked either. He does have some larvae, so maybe expecting him to pull out a gas here. No, he's not going to pull out a gas. I guess he wants to make as many roaches as he possibly can, and maybe push with speedlings first. I mean, a good way to defend is just to be super hyper aggressive offensive. There we go, 6 roaches all immediately in production here. Not quite enough minerals to make much else. There we go, 10 roaches actually. That's a pretty hefty amount.
Yeah, and he's following it up with zerglings, which is actually really good. And no cannons being built here from doohickey, so this is going to be so tough to hold. I'm not sure if the Photon Overcharge will be enough.
Ton of damage. It's such a powerful early push, especially against a gate expand. I mean, they can have a few sentries out, but not that many. Yeah, the motion core is out. It's going to have an overcharge, but force fields are going to have to be really, really good. Because all of these roaches, which are going to be seen here in just a second by this mothership core, can just focus on a pylon so quickly and continually create bigger and bigger holes. And now the lings are popping in here as well. And as you said, without any cannons to help this out, there really isn't anything here for doohickey to defend with. He's got a single sentry. It does force field off that one hole, but now a pylon going to go down and open up the floodgates here. And even he could stop warp gate research here pretty easily if he just goes for this pylon. I think he will do just that. Yeah, that's rough.
Nicely done. Very well done by Roxas.
And with the supply block as well, can't even get an immortal. Honestly, doohickey does tap out there. So pretty quick 2-0 here for Roxas.
Just to think about the first game, I think there weren't any cannons as well.
Yeah.
And well, upon scouting the natural from his opponent, this was the right call to go for it.
Yep. No telling if that was, I mean, it could just be that Roxas realized what his opponent does and says, okay, no cannon, this is going to work perfectly. He did just that. And it completely ran over doohickey. He had nothing back home to actually defend with. Didn't go too well here for doohickey, so going to be getting into map number 3, which is going to be on Catalina, so this could be doohickey's final life here. Unsure if he's going to be able to bring this back or not. Hopefully he can win at least one game. It'll be kind of sad if he gets 3-0'd, but have to wait and see. We do have our map loaded and spawning here in the bottom right from the House of Renegades. needs a map win here, or he's going to be eliminated. In red, it is doohickey.
And spawning to the left position, we got Roxas from Team Unreviable. Right? Right? Was that right?
I'm curious if... No, it wasn't right. I'm curious if you even, even heard it. Oh, no, they did. Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
I just now looked over at the Twitch chat concerning that from last game.
Yeah, they had a good laugh, and I think even Roxas is watching, so greetings to him.
Roxas is going for a super early pool here.
Alright.
Was that a 9 pool, I think, came down here from him. And Catalina, it's an interesting map to do it on, but it can work out pretty well, I suppose. But Duke has been going for these gate expands every single game. So the 9 pool should do decently against it, but it's not like doohickey throws down this gate in the pylon next to his Nexus, so the lanes could get shut out extremely early. Luckily for Roxas, I assume by the time these links pop, this Overlord will have seen that doohickey didn't spawn top right, so he's going to know where to send those links. Kind of curious, I mean, we haven't seen a scout from doohickey just yet, so he's not going to know this is on the way until it's at his doorstep. And this could possibly do a lot of damage, but enough probes can hold this off to see what doohickey is able to do.
Yeah, the Zerglings are actually at the right waypoint, as Roxas will be scouting the position here to the top right side. So this is a great chance here to do damage. But nice wall off here so far by doohickey, but does he go for the Zealot in time?
Yeah, the Zealot is on the way, and even without that, doohickey, is he gonna? No, he's not gonna see the links with the probe. The probe's going top right, so he's not gonna know to wall it off. So the Zealot's not going to be out just in time.
Oh.
He's going to get Lings in there on top. He could get on top of the pylon. I'm not sure if he
needs to put up the waypoint.
Oh,
where's the scouting?
Oh,
it's so close. Oh my god, the wall-in is actually...
Are there 2 holes? I'm not even sure. There may not be, but still, the Lings are on top of this pylon. They're going directly for that. Zealot is going to get out here. Actually, pylon doesn't do anything decent there for doohickey.
Oh,
he does still have another one. So.
Oh, the surround onto the Zealot.
Surround a nice micro even as well. He saves a couple of those Lings that were really low health. And let them get a little bit more damage in, and now doohickey's going to have to defend with his probes for a split second there. Mushroom Core is out already, so he's going to be able to defend with that.
Nice.
Doohickey does not want to lose that pylon, so he is still pulling his probes around to try and help defend that. Actually pulling all of his probes to make sure he saves that pylon. He really doesn't want to lose that. He's still in his awkward situation. He's got enough probes here. The Lings are at low enough health. He should be able to kill this off, but he does lose another couple of probes. Could lose a third one as well. Does lose a third one.
Does lose a third one indeed, and well, this was actually good defense by doohickey so far, and but yeah, losing a couple of probes will of course give Roxas the chance to come back here, and yeah, compensate from this. He's building up a natural base.
doohickey was forced to kill his own pylon there, so he could actually escape and take his natural base, but with the Ling still dancing around down here. This is going to be annoying for doohickey actually be able to get down there and take it easily at least. We don't see any gas. Okay, I said there's a gas up here for Roxas. He did just take that. So speed is going to be a little ways away still. I mean, with speed even, could be even more annoying. And even going for something like Burrow quickly, but he's not going to be able to get well, he's got one Ling back here. He's going to force his probe away once again. Poor probe. He just wants to put down the Nexus and go back home.
Exactly. He had so many plans on the Nexus, but now he's never gonna build it up. And yeah, doohickey now needs to find a way here to stabilize, just to focus on his actual game plan, without really hesitating what just went up there.
We do have a really quick Warp Prism on the way. I mean, doohickey's got a pretty good amount of gas right now. He could go into a couple of Immortals. I mean, trying to go for the same +1 Immortal Zealots all in that he has been doing. It's going to be pretty delayed, obviously. So he may even just use 2 Immortals into a Warp Prism to go harass. But really nice placement on all of these Overlords so far by Roxas. So he's going to have a decent amount of vision here. to see that orbs are moving across the map, even if we're going to be doing that. But this may just end up being kind of a delayed +1 all in, but not enough minerals nearly, considering how this game opened up here for doohickey. So he's going to be doing something a little bit different, I suppose.
Alright, so Roachhorn yet again here for Roxas, and I don't know if he wants to go for the for another attack. doohickey definitely wants to go for a cannon or two, just to reflect any attacks here so far. But Roxas does go for third base as well, so no big commitment onto the Roaches, as we do see the layer as well going on the way.
A lot of tech coming up here for Roxas, and he's got a pretty decent drone count, 36 to 23 in his favor right now, workers-wise. I mean, the natural just finished for doohickey. He does have the forge finish. He is going for +1, but he's already got 2 immortals out here. He's got this warp prism that's going to be full of those immortals. So he's going to just walk across the map with that. Yeah, he's going to walk across the map and try and get something done with that, at least harass a little bit. But with the overlords in the positions that they are, Roxas is going to have quite a few chances to see this is coming and react to it. He doesn't have many units out, and the immortals are pretty good, and hopefully he doesn't just make a bunch of roaches to deal with this, because that won't work out too well. He is making 4 roaches right now. I mean, surely he knows that it's there, but maybe, you know, maybe you don't expect to see 2 immortals in here, and you lose more than you expect.
Yeah, he's definitely expecting some zealot drop or something. So let's see, maybe these immortals can still do some damage. And
Immortals going to take out a lot of things so quickly. The Lynx are trying to get in on here on top of this. There is a Queen and a Roach here to help defend this. Actually, doohickey microwave back a little bit here. Trying to do what he can. He hasn't really killed much. I think he killed a couple of Lings, maybe. That's about it. If anything, he forced a few units out. And it's going to be pretty much the bulk of his damage there was doing that. And doohickey is taking a couple of 1 extra gas right now. And that honestly could be a fake, because he still hasn't made anything else out of this rebel facility.
True, but I'm not sure if that's the right choice, because we have so many roaches here from Roxas. I'm not sure if doohickey is aware of this, but yeah, it does seem to be that timing, as we were talking about, with a lot of zealots and these 2 immortals in the war prism.
It's a lot fewer gateways. He's only on 6, I think. Yeah, he's only on 6. He usually goes with the 8. And still, this is such a long time after it should be hitting, I suppose. He's at 11 minutes. He's only got 8 zealots right now. There's a lot of roaches out right now. There's 17 roaches. He's going to have 7 more here in just a second. So it's going to have to be really good focus off these immortals, and they have to get a ton of work done to deal with this. There is 1 overlord that's out here in the middle of nowhere that could supply block Roxas, but an additional 7 roaches have been started. So he's got a lot to deal with this, and he's just going to surround this army and see what he can get done. And Immortals are being dropped on top of the Roaches here pretty much. 1 Time Warp goes down. Roach is actually getting completely surrounded. He does pick up both of them. I'm not sure how he saved 1 of those, but he does save both of those Immortals, and he picks up the really low health one each time. He still has saved both of these Immortals, so they're getting a lot of work done. Still, Immortals have not died off, but this push has mostly been deflected. How are these Immortals staying alive right now? They can't be getting
nice
damage
micro.
done. There we
Nice
go.
micro
1
so
does go
far.
down.
Was a nice attempt here from doohickey, but I feel like a couple of sentries were actually missing in this attack. Of course, the main focus is on zealots, but with so many roaches on the field, you really want to zone out a couple of them before they put on a lot of damage onto your zealots. So, yeah, Roxas has a really, really good chance here for a counterattack. Still no sentries here to defend this attack.
Not even enough energy on the military core to actually have an overcharge put out. Once it does finally get back here to the base, it's actually an Immortal on the low ground that might get sniped off. Does it pick it up?
Oh.
Could have picked it up, doesn't quite do it. The 1 Immortal from earlier is still alive. It's got 11 kills actually, so it's doing a ton of damage. But still, this is third base up here for Roxas, and he's making 16 drones now. Yeah, War Prism trying to do what he can to help out. And Micro as best as he possibly can. He's actually, doohickey's completely walled off at his natural here, so he can't even escape for such a long time in the game without any sentries. Now we have hiders in the mix for Roxas. He's going to be able to deal with these Immortals a lot easier until doohickey's able to finally take some extra gas, which he is starting to do now, and actually get that sentry count going.
Yeah, very solid play so far from Roxas, and with the free bases, he has no problem here producing tons and tons of units. 124 supplied against the 83, so very tough here for doohickey to really get anything done.
I guess Roxas maybe expecting a drop somewhere. I'm not sure if he saw the War Prism moving out. He may have seen it kind of pick some units up, but he did move his entire army back into the main base. But there's nothing over there, so not a big deal. And doohickey's trying to get as much as he possibly can, and he's getting +1 armor as well to try and help out. But it's a pretty massive army supply difference right now. 80 army supply to 55 in favor of our Zerg player, and doohickey may actually be caught in the middle of the map. His observer does see this army moving out, but it's going to get sniped off, so he's not going to have that much vision again. Without blink here for these stalkers as well, they're not doing. They're going to be the greatest of units to have at the moment, but still, doohickey doing a lot of work with this War Prism and that Immortal Micro, so really good job for him to do that at least.
Yeah, most definitely. I really love that kind of harassment, and maybe he can even go for some kind of split push, like into the main base, at the same time attacking at the third. But here we go, the final engagement. As it seems, Roaches and Hydras actually doing a lot of damage, and they should be just focusing down the Immortals one by one, as we have a really, really good concave.
Really good concave for Roxas there, and he will take game number 3 here. So that is going to be a 3-0 for Roxas. So congrats to him. He will move on with a very swift 3-0 of his opponent here. That means our last Protoss player in the CSL has been eliminated. So kind of sad for him and sad for Protoss everywhere. But these things happen, to say the least.